Hey guys, this is Patdees, or I'm gonna just say Patrick today. I'm making this video because I am. Uh, my wife just came home, and I started telling her what I'm gonna do, and she's like, "Why?" And I'm very angry, um, and just disappointed in our car insurance, Geico. We will be dropping our Geico car insurance after 21 years. I'm just tired of the games. You know, what happened was my policy had lapsed uh, by 3 days. Um, our policy had lapsed by 3 days. I got an email that your policy is being canceled for failure to pay. And I'm like, so I called them up and, all right, my policy had lapsed, but I called them up and I said, hey, look, I didn't get but I got the email and they said, oh, you don't have the notifications for the phone. But no problem. You've been a customer 21 years. We'll just reinstate it. You haven't had no accidents or nothing like that. And I'm like, no, I haven't had no accidents. Um, they told me it was going to be like $734 that they needed. I'm like, okay. Now the way that Geico does it, they do a 6-month bill. Now let me tell you a little bit of what we're talking about, what we insure here. My son just pulled up with a car. We have a 2006 Buick. Not we own it. We don't owe the bank. In the distance, you can see I have a white 1999 Crown Victoria. The neon is off. The engine went, so that's going to the scrapyard. And the distance is a Cavalier. We have a 2006 Ford Freestyle, and the best vehicle we have is a 2016 Buick Encore. We actually just got that like 2.5 months ago. Our insurance was $1,900 for 6 months, so $3,800 a year, and it actually just went up. It went up $1,000 when my son got his driver's license, and even though he was driving with a permit with us, it didn't matter. It went up like $1,000 a year. So, and we're talking that we even had to lower down our coverage as far as raise some deductibles. I mean, you basically got 5 cars on the policy. You got a 2006 Ford Freestyle that has 200,000 miles. Basically, it's not worth nothing. You got the 2006 Buick, not worth nothing. The 1999 Crown Vic is probably worth about $2,000. The Cavalier is probably worth about $1,200. So you got 4 cars that basically have very little coverage as far as, even if we had a collision or an accident, the deductible's like $1,000, so you wouldn't even get much for them. But it's more of a concern of hitting somebody else and having that liability coverage. And also, if that's the thing here in Pennsylvania, and that's where I live, you got to cover yourself in case somebody else hits you. Back in 2008, I was at a light about the 5th car, and a lady was on her cell phone, and she rear-ended us, and I wound up screwing up my neck, and my hand was on the steering wheel and slammed into it. I wound up having carpal tunnel surgery. That took 5 years going through that, and basically got nothing out of it, just the coverage for my medical, because I didn't have full tort. So that's one thing you got to learn. If you in Pennsylvania, if you have limited tort, I always thought what it was is you can't sue. Well, why would I sue my own insurance company? If someone else hits you, shouldn't they be responsible? But I guess that's not the way it works. You're insuring yourself, that if somebody hits you and they go after, it's so complicated, and it seems always like insurance is a money grab. But anyways, about even about 5-6 years ago, I canceled one time because it was getting to the point where our insurance was about $7,000 for the year, and we got another company. I want to say it was John Hancock, but I'm not sure. it was a red company. If you guys, it wasn't Travelers, it wasn't State Farm, but the minute that we canceled, within a day, Geico reached out to us and said, oh, we want you back. You've been with us for like 14, 15 years. We're going to re-rate you, and, we're going to lower your insurance, and even made it a little bit less than the new company. So here I wasted like 2-3 hours doing paperwork, this and that. They called the company themselves, with my permission then, to cancel the policy, because I'll be honest, I was embarrassed, that we had done all that. And but I was saving money, and I didn't even know you could do, but they did it, and we saved some money. But this time, back in July, my son, we had called into the insurance company to have the car towed, because only about, wow, look at it, nice hawk or an eagle flying above. But anyways, I'll get back. Only maybe one house away, my son calls me and says, Daddy, I'm stuck in a ditch, because there was someone, our road is very narrow, someone was going down the road, and he didn't want to hit the stop sign, so he went over to the road and he went to the ditch. So he got stuck in the ditch. Well, couldn't pull the car out of the angle that it was in, and so we wound up having to call Geico, because we have that policy where it pays for the towing, and they consider that an accident, even though the police didn't need to be called. They didn't have to pay out no damage for the car, no medical, but because that was considered an accident, that's the reason that they're telling us now that our insurance is going up. So my insurance was $2,500, and then so I called last night, and I'm laying in bed, and I'm looking on my app on the Geico mobile app, and I'm seeing my bills $5,000 for 6 months. That's $10,000 a year for 5 cars, that 4 of the cars combined aren't worth $2,000. I mean, this is ridiculous. I am so pissed off, and I called there, and she goes, well, you had an accident in July. I said, no, we didn't have an accident. He went off I said, there was no, you didn't have to pay out. Now, I went over, and she says, and then, I said, I've been with you guys for 21 years, and then I just lost it, and I started freaking, and I didn't use freaking, I used the, and she's like, sir, if you're going to use that, you don't have to use that kind of language. And I just, what, because there was no talking to her, I just hung up the phone. I said one swear word, to full disclaimer, and I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of paying 21 years. I paid in over $90,000 to Geico. I have the towing extra, and I was looking at my claims last night. The last real claim was almost 10 years ago. I don't know what it was, but it was around $2,800. And then I think one time we had a car that a deer ran into, and that they consider at fault, which then they upped my insurance because a deer runs into me. You can't control. Well, I can't control where a deer runs. And then what happened was that car got fixed, and we had it parked out here right where the white car is, and we had ice and snow, and we couldn't get it started the one time, and here it was, it was in neutral, didn't even know it. And we came home one day after there was snow and ice had melted, warm weather, and the car rolled down the hill into the woods and hit a tree, and the car was totaled. So I'm not going to say I didn't have no claims. Over 21 years, God, unfortunately things do happen. So we probably had about $8,000 in claims over 21 years, with the last real claim being close to 9 years ago. So 21 years, we've estimated that we've paid in $90,000. They've paid about $8,000. They still, it always seems like, even with like the towing, then you call them up for even the towing, and it's going to be like 2 hours before somebody can get there. Meanwhile, they always try to call around the cheapest one that they can find, even if there's someone a mile away that could be there. They so many times I've said, just forget it. And I had a buddy come along and give me a jump start or whatever the case was, that we needed roadside assistance. But I am looking for another insurance company. I want you guys, this is not a normal video. My name is Patrick. like Patdees here on YouTube. You guys, please, if you want to like and subscribe, comment, please tell me your experience with insurance companies. Tell me what company you think is best. I'm looking for a company that has full tort. I used to have $100,000 to $300,000 coverage, meaning that if you got in an accident, and you had to sue or something, or that's what. I even had to lower that down to $50,000 to $100,000. They really. It seems like they really stick at the people that can't afford, even because they base it on your credit, and they try to always stick at the people that really can't afford the insurance, and then you wonder why. You don't have to wonder why people sometimes drive without insurance, because you got to go to work. You need a car. I mean, we're at a point right now. Do we need 5 cars? No. To be honest, that's another thing. The white car is parked since last August. So it's been parked for about 15 months. It needs 4 new tires, and it needs a fuel pump. So there's $1,000. So I've been paying about $80 a month insurance. I've paid more on the parked car. Last night when I went to remove the Cavalier, because the Cavalier is parked up there, it does need a fender from getting stuck in the ditch, and my son started a new job, and while he was going, it's been parked. It's ever since that happened in July, we haven't even used the car. And I read today, which Geico don't even tell you. Now they know that there's no way that 3 people drive 5 cars. You could pay less by having garage storage or something like that. I'm not sure. So last night I immediately dropped 2 cars and still only took it down to $2,900, which I just simply can't. Again, I'm at a point I can't afford it. It's just too much money. $10,000 for 5 cars that are worth 4 cars again are worth. And I know I've said this before. As I think about it, I'm getting worked up. They're not worth $2,000 combined. So guys, comment below. I want you guys to like and share this experience. I am the hell with that damn lizard. He's moving out. I don't care. I hope Geico sees this. And the sad part is, the company that owns Geico is Berkshire Hathaway, which is owned by Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is one of the richest guys. He's a billionaire in the world. He's a nice guy. He's a smart guy and stuff. But I gotta look out for myself, and I gotta look out for my family. And I'm just tired of feel like I'm getting, with these insurance companies. So I'm going to be in the process. I'm hoping today is Monday. I'm going to be in the process by Friday of getting new car insurance companies on this. And at the end of the day, why not just charge me what I was paying? This is ridiculous. $5,000 is a lot a year. Let's be honest, for what you're insuring. Because keep in mind, again, for the cars, if they're ever in accidents, that's our fault. They're not covered. Because there is the deductible with the collision is so high that that's another thing that happened, which sucks. Which was about 2 years ago when we got the Cavalier. We're parked in a grocery store. Somebody backed into it, and the employees know who I am, because I used to have a local business in town, and they're like, "Hey Pat, someone hit is that your car out there?" I'm like, "Yeah." Someone hit the car and took off. Nope, not covered. The comprehensive, I guess it would have been covered under, but at a $500 deductible. And then again, if you report it, God, even though you're paying insurance, you're gonna get hosed in the end anyway. So I just don't get it. So you can sense my frustration and anger about this. It's duly noted. So, and I don't care. I want people. This is why I'm making this video. But bye-bye, Geico. Bye. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Bye.